Hey, happy Wednesday. How's everybody? We're gonna have a truckload of fun, probably at my expense today, so I'm just gonna wait until somebody jumps on and says hello. So, if you guys haven't heard, I do have the winter truck and dye 50% off. Hi Lisa Albert, how are you? Um, so like I said, the winter truck and dye are 50% off, so you're basically getting two for less than the price of one thing. Hi Linda, how are you? Good to see you guys. So as you can tell, I have goodies, and that's kind of what we're doing. Hi Brennan, hi Michelle from New Hampshire. Um, so, normally I'm on here and I'm making a card or doing something, but let's face it, it's Christmas and we're so over making Christmas cards at this point, but we might still be making tags. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I might not be able to get through this without cracking up. So I told my BFF that I baked cookies to do this presentation. She is really, and I said, well, I sliced them and I put them in the oven. Does that count? And she actually kind of snorted at me. So even though this looks pretty, I really didn't bake them. I just sliced them and put them in the oven. So again, I just wanted to show you that you can do more with your products than just cards or scrapbook layouts. So I really did make this bow. I'm actually pretty good at it. But these cookies are, Pillsbury. All right, I'm going to put this off to the side. Or behind me, I should say. So, like I had mentioned, that the truck stamp and die, the winter stamp truck and die are 50% off in the shop. Hi Sean, how are you? Keeping the birds quiet, I hope. Alright, so this is what I'm going to kind of zoom in just a hair. So this is what the truck stamp and die look like. So this is the front of the truck and the back of the truck. And one die fits both the front and the back. So they're exactly the same shape. So you kind of get a big, you bake them, I just didn't make them. Yep, you're right. So you can still, so it's really kind of cool. You get more bang for your buck. You don't have to buy extra dies. And then we've got like 4 other stamp sets. We've got one, like a summer version of it and a fall version. So all of the truck stamps will fit into this die. So it's very versatile to have in your stash. So like I said, we are going to make a tag. And I'm going to bring in addition to the winter truck, my tried and true Christmas and holiday tags because I love the fonts. And we'll see how far we get with this, okay? Sean says he didn't know that I knew what the stove was for. Well, when I was raised, my mom used to hide the mail in the stove or in the oven so that my grandparents wouldn't find it because my grandpa was really nosy. We almost caught the house on fire because of mail in the oven, but that's a story for another day. So he's right, I don't really know what this is used for. All right, let me pull out my Misty. Now my Misty has been very well loved. You can see that I'm kind of missing some of the grid work, and that's because I spilled something in it, but nobody else's would. Nothing else would make that happen unless you really did spill something. So don't be alarmed. I'm going to be using my mini maker die cutting machine so that you guys can see the die cutting. So I cut these down to about 2 3/4 or 3 inches wide, just so that we can get going now. You all know, is Sandy on here? Hi Sandy. I am a very lazy crafter. I don't like masking or making scenes. So you're going to see that in action at this point. I'm going to start with the back of the truck. And I'm going to start with the snowman, the 2 snowmen, okay? And so when you mask something, whatever you want to see first or like in the forefront, you actually need to stamp first and then you mask it. So I'm starting in the center of my paper because I want to make sure that I have enough room. And I'm using a Copic friendly ink. You could use any of them on the market. This just happens to be the one that I have on my desk right now. So Sandy, are you ready for Christmas at this point, or are you shopping still? I was shopping today, and my car is full. I probably shouldn't announce that because then it might get broken into. All right, so I'm going to move this off of my Misty. Thankfully, I didn't get that onto my paper. Now we're going to work on the back of the truck. Now, I'm not going to lie. I did practice this. I normally don't go ahead of time. So if you stamp these where you do the truck first and then you do your characters, then you're going to have the lines of the truck. So that's why we're going to do some masking. If you chose really dark colors, you probably wouldn't know. Or if you stamped everything in gray, like to do a no line coloring, you could probably get by with that. Sandy says there's some things going on around here, so we haven't gotten anything done, including decorating. Sean and I went out and bought a small Christmas tree. We have a cat that broke into our house and has never left. So there are actually videos out there that say, I don't have a cat, but I have a cat. And that's us. So I am lining the end of the snowman up into the window, just so that I have an idea. So you're going to see the top of his hat will be in the way. I've got some mint tape. This is, I think, from scrapbook.com. And I have put that down onto my clothes so that it won't be as tacky. I have had it rip some cardstocks before. And I'm just trying to figure out which way to do this. So, again, you're watching the lazy woman's way of stamping. As long as you get her done, it doesn't matter. See, I've already lost my ink. Alright, so from here, I'm going to ink up the back of the truck. And guys, this is just a tag. If I was truly making a real scene, I would probably mask this the correct way, like with some masking paper or whatnot. This is a stamp press that we have in the shop as well, and it's got some felt on here. And if somebody asked me one time, how do you clean this if it gets dirty? All you have to do is take a magic eraser on it, or even a pencil eraser, and that'll come clean. So if you happen to get glue or something on it, that's how you fix that. So now I'm going to, oh, here's a sneaky peeky. Is anybody watching? Hi, Becky, how are you? I'm so glad you're joining us this evening. What do y'all think of this color? So teal is one of my all-time favorite colors. So this was a little bit of a present to myself. Now, you're going to see that I have a little bit of that truck kind of missing. So I am going to just keep on moving my mask and putting this down. Now you absolutely could just draw the line in like with a multi-liner. Did you know that my Christmas present to myself, I bought all of the Copic multi-liners, the ones that are refillable. So that came via Amazon. All right, so now the truck is done. Not done, but we're the back of the truck. Yes, Michelle, it is pretty and sparkly. It makes me happy. And like I said, that might be a sneak peek of what's to come. Which one? Are you saying which one Sean is and what present did I buy this time? I know. I've bought a lot of presents for myself. Now, excuse the elf hat. It's usually at the top of my head that you're seeing when I do this, but I need to get in there and see. Let's put some glasses on. I've got like 3 pair of glasses here. We're going to find my favorite one. Right. I highly suggest glasses, guys. Especially when you're as old as I am. Old as dirt. And these are Christmas lights. So we're going to talk about how to color Christmas lights. Now this is going to be a really tiny amount. If it's pink and sparkly, it's for you. Well, Michelle, you might just want to hold on. You might see some stuff that you like. And I'm stamping down the lights. And again, all of this is Copic friendly. And now we've got our scene for the back of the truck. And you're wondering why I keep saying that we're doing the front and the back, because we're actually going to do both sides tonight. And again, I'm putting down that 3-inch wide paper so it goes through my mini maker. That was the lid to my, the lid to my pokey tool. So this is the Bear, and I'm going to put him here kind of in the center. We're doing the exact same technique where we're going to use that mint tape to mask. And again, this is the lazy woman's way of doing it. And y'all can text me and tell me I'm doing it wrong. It's fine. Like, I know I'm doing it wrong, and I'm fine. I'm fine, you're fine, everybody's fine. Isn't he just the cutest little thing? All right. We're going to go back to our cheater's guide, see how his head went up over the rim of the truck. So we're going to do our best to like mask most of his body. And so this is the front of the truck. You're going to get this, you're going to get my elf hat in the way. I don't know if you guys like my elf hat, but he makes me happy. So I've got him lined up. So I've used it so much, Lisa. What are we talking about? I might need the stamp set. Yes, I think you do need that stamp set, Lisa. All right, so right now I've got pretty much his whole head masked off. We might have to move that around just like we did the last one. All right. Pokey tool. I just got my nails done today, guys. That's why I'm being so protective over my nails. I'm going to grab a new piece of mint tape. If you have Post-it tape, or even if you have a Post-it note, you can use that. This is like nothing, washi tape, anything works at this point. It's just what I have on hand right now. And I'm just peeling off a corner. And again, I could probably just go ahead and, you know what, I'm just going to draw in those lines. We're not going to fiddle fart this around today. I'm going to cover up just the tippy top of the truck. In fact, I'm going to wipe this off, guys. This is just a microfiber cloth you can use. I wouldn't use a baby wipe right now because you don't want to smear your ink. But now I'm just going to do that very top part of the truck, and I might ruin this, to be honest. So sometimes you do what I say, not as I do. Perfect. Did I pull it off? Can you make your crafty big sister? Okay. All right. I was just seeing who was saying what. All right. So we've got this done. Now what I want to talk about right now before we go into the coloring, because the coloring is going to come last. This die, like I said, will fit both the front and the back of the truck. So you just want to make sure you get that lined up nicely. And once I get that centered the way I want it, I tape it down. And we're getting my mini maker out. And again, this is not being made anymore, but Honey Bee and a lot of people carry them. Where's this? All right. So I always use my metal pad for that. And it's perfect. Now normally I don't die cut until I'm done coloring, but I just want to get all the die cutting done one time. Where did I put my cute little truck that I just stamped? Just want to make sure you guys can see everything. My head's not in the way, all that good stuff. It makes you nervous when they snap. It used to, for me, Sandy, but I think I've just been doing it for so long now that I don't care anymore. But it used to, like the snap, crackle, pop, used to really scare me when I was brand new. And I always try to put my, this is true for any size die cutting machine, I always try to move it so it's not always in the same spot. That way my plates don't warp. Alright, so we've got that truck done. So I said that we were going to make a tag. When we color with Copics, they always bleed through to the back. So I took a card base. I always have my card bases. Where's my card base? Pre-made. So all I did was chop this down to be thinner. So it'll fit onto my plate. Now this is a 120 pound cardstock. So we're basically putting like 240 pound through here. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. But if you just leave your die a little bit off the edge, then you're going to maintain that fold. And that's how we're going to get a tag. How did you flatten your plates? I know that I bake mine at 250 degrees in my oven, and I'm able to save them. This might be too thick for this. Yeah, let me go over to my Platinum 6. There's not enough pressure here. Give me a second. Chat with each other, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. You've got chicken to bake. All right, so here we are. So I cut him out. I don't know why I called him a him, but because of him today. But I'm sure there are girl trucks out there too, right? And I'm going to use my pokey tool just to scrape that off. Now another thing I want to mention, and I wasn't sure, so again I did try this off camera. I wanted to make sure that this was symmetrical, that we could use the front and back the way it was intended. Okay, so any questions so far? Did you guys see my pajama pants? When I told you guys I'm in my pajamas all the time. In fact, I think I own more pajamas than I own anything else. Alright, I am going to zoom in so you guys can see the coloring, and this is my trick to get this to focus. Alright, sorry about the blur. I hope I didn't make anybody sick. Does anybody have any questions about the way Copics work, out of curiosity? Work, home life, I live in pajamas. Yeah, Michelle, me too. So when I use Copics, you've got your, like this is an R24, a 29, a 46, and a 59. So they're not all in the same family. But I'm paying attention to that last number, and I'm skipping at least 2 grades. So I'm going a 2.4 to a 4.6, a 2.9, and a 5.9. Now the 5.9 and 2.9 have the same saturation, just not the same tone. So that's why they work together. But by doing this, you're really going to get that, you're going to get it to pop. So we're going to go ahead and start. I always color with my darkest to my light, and this is my R59. I use the hex chart all the time, Brendan, when I don't know what I'm doing. It's over here somewhere. but I always have it in my reference point because especially when I was learning, I didn't know. So when he's talking about the hex chart, he's talking about Sandy Allnuck's hex chart. It's basically a swatching guide. So you've got colors that all touch each other. So like say if you don't have the same color green, you can sort of like see what's next to it, and you can do that, but you still want to skip 2 to 4 levels in order to get your dimension and coloring. Now I'm going to put a shadow down here and around the lights. So even though this is a pretty small image, I am still making sure to put what I call my scary darks. I am stealing that from Courtney Creever. I don't believe that she's coloring on YouTube anymore, but that's what she used to call it, and I used to watch her all the time. But I think that that's, you know, kind of the best way to describe that as a scary dark. And kind of over here where the light's kind of tucking in closer to the grill. And I'm going to even put one there. And I'm going to put one down here. And this is all still my R59. I'm going to cap that. We will come back up here and work on that again. Sometimes I find that working in sections is easier. One, you get an easier blend because your papers are already moistened, the fibers, so it's easier to get a blend. And I don't move on until I have scrubbed over that little bit of area and I get like a seamless blend. Now it is not necessary, and I want everybody to hear this, it is not necessary to take your next color and go all the way to where you started. You're just scrubbing over where it overlaps because you still want that dimension and color. I mention that because I see that all the time with new colorists. And if you don't have all the colors, you can always use a cool gray or toner gray or a neutral gray. Or if you're doing animals, I always go with the warm grays, so the W's. I'm just mentioning that so, you know, if you don't have them all, because you don't have to have all the markers. I mean, I think eventually you're going to want them just because, well, we all want them. Now I'm coming in with the R46, so I went from a 5.9 to a 2.9, which absolutely doesn't make any sense. But it's because I'm trying to get this deep saturated color. So your R46 is technically your mid-tone color. So it's the color that you should be actually seeing the most of. So whenever I talk about mid-tones, it's what you're seeing the most of. And I'm just kind of filling this in. And again, this is a tag that is going to be ripped off of the package in like 12 seconds. So I'm not freaking out. Is it okay to post the link to the hex chart? Absolutely. I think Sandy Allnuck should absolutely get the credit for that, and she should get some sales. I highly recommend taking coloring classes from Sandy Allnuck. I own a lot of them. I've also got the hex chart for Ahuhu, for Olo, and for Copic. So absolutely, please, 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 if you are looking for how to blend, go see Sandy. She's not really doing cards anymore, but she's a fine artist, and all the companies have basically paid her to do these hex charts. I think the first one she just did for herself as a teaching tool, but she's just an amazing artist all the way around. All right, so this part here, I'm going to color it like it's chrome. So this very top part is going to be, my dogs are in the room, I'm sorry guys, is going to be the top of the truck. So I am probably not going to be able to get all 4 colors in there. So I'm starting with my R24. So I'm already breaking my rules. I said that I always color darkest to light, but there are times that when I know that I'm not going to get all of them in there, that I need to go ahead and start with my lightest color. Honestly, until Olos came around, everybody was taught to color dark, light to dark, and then back to the lightest again. So, you know, you do you as far as what makes you the most comfortable. This is my R59, and where his head is overlapping, I feel like this is like a cartoon car because the head would not necessarily be over, unless it's like a convertible or like a sunroof. But I put the dark color right above, like where his head is, so that we still have a shadow. Okay. Now I'm coming in with the R. I don't know. We're gonna try to get all four in there. So this is the 2.9, and I'm focusing that 2.9 closest to the rim. Now we're doing 4.6. Remember, your 4.6 is your mid-tone. It's the one that you're going to see the most of. Love hearing the dogs in the background. I'm glad that somebody likes it. It makes me nervous, like somebody's going to get upset about it. But this is my life. My dogs are my life. My husband can attest to that. Now, I don't love this blend. So I'm going in with my mid-tone. Remember, my mid-tone is my color that you see the most. So it's the one that I would blend the most with. And then I'm going to come in with that R24 again. It's all about working your colors until you're happy. And I promise you that after Valentine's Day, I will not keep doing all the red. In fact, I'm going to try to do more, oh shoot, pinks, so that you guys don't get tired of me. Come here, guys. Buddies, come here. This is my little guy, Rupert. He is 3 years old, and he's my wild child. Thank you for the kisses. I love you. Thank you. Come here, buddy. Come on. No, you already did it. Oh, and this is my 14-year-old dog named Butters, and his name is Butters because he's a big fatso. Believe it or not, he is a Yorkie, even though he's like the size of a giant, but he's my baby. He's the love of my life besides my husband. And if my husband's not on the live, I'll tell you that more about him some other day. Alright. So let's start doing the grill of the truck. I am pulling, this is not rocket science today. I am pulling my C7, 5, 3, and 1. So, in theory, this part out here would be just a little bit darker because we're putting the highlight in the center of the car. So, technically speaking, this would be your darkest area. And I'm going to kind of curve that down a little bit. And then I'm going to put it down the center as well. Alright. I also, in theory, if you were looking at a grill of a car, you would have like some shadow here. So I'm going just underneath that line. And I'm going to do just a little bit here, kind of like in a V shape. Can I write it down on my glass? Yes. Probably not on my glass, but I'll get it on a piece of paper for you guys. Alright, so it was R59, 4.6. Sorry. 2.9, 4.6, 2.4. We're using a C7, 5, 3, and 1. Alright, and the one's probably not going to come in until later on when we start to do the glass. So this is the C5. Everybody got that? All right. So now I'm extending this 5 above the 7, just a hair. And the shadow that would be on the side coming in. So we're getting multi-dimension here. We actually might end up using all 4 colors. I find myself changing my mind. So this is the C3. And you see, I am not going all the way back to that darkest color. I'm leaving the dark in. I'm just scrubbing over the areas so that we have a little bit of continuity of color, but I want that for the most part. I want those colors to still pop. Now this is the C1. I said we weren't going to use it, but we are. And I bought myself a new C1 last week after my live because I realized that I had some colors in there that I didn't want. See how that's kind of come out to a point. And if you lose it because your 1s are going to be lighter than your 3s or your 5s, and that's because it's got more alcohol in it instead of pigment. Sean, if you're watching still, can you please come get them? And I just went back over that with the C3. And I'm going to keep my C3 up here. It's going to be my lightest color. Somebody's got to go potty. And it's not me. For once. And I'm just working this up. Guys, I'm going to have to let him out of here so he can go downstairs and go potty. That's his real life. Sean says he's not watching. Okay. You're funny. Goodbye.
Let's go.
And now they're back in because they see him. It never fails, you guys. All right, so you saw that I kind of, I did my grays up there. And now I'm just sort of coloring that in. All right. Also, this under here would still be gray because it's like the back of a tire. So I'm going to put some grays in there. And let's go ahead and do the mirrors. So this is my C5. And I'm just kind of doing like a C. I can hear myself on my husband's phone right now. And I can actually see my husband staring at me.
Where are the dogs?
They're back on their path because they think they're in trouble because you're up here. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and you're trying to do the puppy crumbles are adorable. I don't know. I don't know if they're adorable or not. My house is a zoo, people. It really is a zoo. I mean, you never know what you're going to get when you're here. You're either going to get a bird screaming or you're going to have a dog acting like crazy. He's not coming. Sean, he's not coming. It's fine. All right, we're going to go with greens. So I like to map out my colors. So I'm using my lightest color. So again, I'm using opposite of what I normally do. Just so if you map it out, it's so much easier to take the lighter colors away than it is to try to remove the dark colors. Let's see. I'm going to use R14 for the red in his scarf. So we're changing up the oranges just, or I'm sorry, the reds just a hair. All right. By the way, Joey, the water in the backyard is almost gone. Something's still going off for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. 5.5. Guys, Lisa had a nightmare when the storm came through in her area, and my heart just kind of bled for her watching that come out. Here's a little tip. If you struggle with like not staying in the lines, I would recommend not coloring your reds first, because reds like smear and do crazy things. So you're better off if you like do every other color but red, and then do your reds last. Do as I say, not as I do, clearly. Because I don't follow my own rules ever. All right, where's my R46? So I didn't put a lot, like I'm not like blendy, like getting all blendy with this. I'm just letting it roll. We're going to use a YG17 and a 67. For those of you that watch me all the time, you know that this is kind of what I do. Come mid-January, I will have my full list of my favorite Copic blends out there for you guys to download. What is he saying? Reds are my, yeah, sorry, Brennan. So the reason I always choose reds is that they really pop. So I make cards now for myself, but I used to be on a lot of design teams. And you've got to photograph your cards. So if you put a red on there, it's really going to pop compared to like a pink or a purple sometimes, depending on what purple. But your eye is always catching your red, so you will always see me color with a red. Now this little guy, I'm going to do him in my favorite chocolate blend. So now this, I am like going right down the line. We are not doing anything magical tonight with coloring. Like I like all kinds of like mixes of browns, and I'll put like an E79 in instead of an E29. But again, this is going to be ripped off of a package faster than we can say, oh, my jingle sticks. So I'm going in with my lightest color, which is my 2-3. I smell something cooking downstairs. I hope it's something delicious. And since this is my lightest color, I am just putting in the whole thing. Now my 2-9 is my scary dark. I am going to put this underneath the snout, and I'm going to feather it in towards the sides. So you kind of see me kind of making like a C. Like for you ladies that are on here, watch like makeup contour videos, and that'll tell you how to like do your, if you don't already know how to do it, it'll kind of tell you how to build a face and how to get the roundness. Again, he would be really cool if I like drew in the eyeballs and like made his face animated, but this is on a package. If you guys want to see me like draw a real face and get all the curves, we can do that, you know, on a different video. And I'm just kind of extending that. And I am putting a shadow where that snout is, because it's going to be kind of like sticking out like a nose, right? And now that was the 2-7. Yeah, All right, so E23, then we went to the 2.9, 2.7, 2.5, and we'll go back to the 2.3 to blend. All right, so now we're gonna end with the 2.3. Cracks me up. I just cleaned my craft room like 2 days ago, and if y'all saw this, you'd be like, Like my desk is covered again, just in 1 day's worth of coloring. All right, so let me find. I don't even know where I put my new multi-liners. This is one work. Okay, this is an old one. So where I didn't finish that stamping, now I'm drawing in the lines. And there's a steering wheel here, and I'm going to just color that in all the way. Because remember, I did a lazy girl shading. And so by using my multi-liner, I was able to draw those lines back in. So you want to do that last. I'm going to bring an E42 in just to color in the snout. All right, for the glass. I've got a BG10 and a B000, so boo. And I'm just going to kind of put some L shapes there. And now I'm bringing in my boo. So that was my BG10. So your boo, even though it's a 000, is actually a little bit brighter and darker than your actual BG10. You would think that the 10 would be darker, but it's not. And now I'm just using a little bit of gray. That way we're getting a little bit of dimension in the colors. All right, we're going to use a Y11. I am making this up as I go, guys, for the headlights. Now you could absolutely use a gray as if they weren't on. And that's fine. And did you see I didn't color those all the way in? I kind of left it like a white highlight on the outside, and that's to give it the appearance that it's like a glow. All right, so that is our first truck. Now let's talk about lights. So we're going to use a yellow, and you're going to freak out when I do this. We are going to put the Y11 on the outside. So we're going to do a red there, a blue, and then we're going to do a yellow here. So I'm putting that on the outside. So you notice I didn't do anything with the red truck. Now I'm going to come in with an R. I'm thinking I'm going to do an 01 for my red. And I'm doing that on the outside of the light. Because in theory, these lights are illuminating, so it's leaving like a bright spot onto the truck. And that's why I'm doing that. I'm coming in with that B 000, and I'm doing the same thing on the outside of where the blue lights would be. Is anybody freaked out yet? I'm going to refresh my screen and see if I can see comments quicker. Nope, same comments. All right. So now, for the yellow light, I am using a Y08. And I'm putting it all the way through the whole light, okay? This doesn't look like much right now. And then I'm taking my Y17. Y17 is actually darker than the Y19. I have no idea why. And I'm just going to dot that in at the top. And right now it looks like a hot mess, and I get it. All right, so now next is red. So I'm going to use the R14. So we're using still that almost like an orangey looking red. Oh, it'd help if I had a red instead of the green. And we're doing that whole light. Okay, now I'm going to come in with the R29. There's no rhyme or reason. You could have used the R59 if you wanted to. You would actually probably get a bigger burst of light actually. And we're just dotting that in. Like, guys, anybody can do this. If I can do it, you definitely can do it. And I mean that. Let's do a B2. I'm going to do a B23. Orangey looking red, as Sean said. So that's an R14. Now we're using the B23. I don't know. I don't know if you can actually see that. Now we're using the 2.6. And we're dotting that in at the top. All right. I know that taillights are supposed to be red, but our truck is red. So I'm going to propose that we do something a little bit different. We're going to wash the entire thing in a Y17. And by putting a Y17 or any yellow underneath that, because Copics are transparent and buildable, that is still going to pop through. Does that make sense? Now we're going to use the YR09. And I'm still going to put that YR9 like where those dashes are, but I'm going to concentrate the YR09 towards the bottom two lights. Sean, you're killing me. Now this is the YR7. All right. Man, it's hot up here. I go from my house being ice cold to burning up. I think it has something to do with my age. All right, I need to wash this off, guys. So this is another moment of when I say, do what I say, not as I do. You really should not be doing any alcohol marker coloring on a glass mat. You really should be putting a piece of paper underneath it, because when you use the next marker, that will reactivate that ink and you're going to mix colors and it's going to seep up through your paper and you're going to hate the results of it. So I know that I do this. I also know that I've been taught not to, and I've been taught by some of the best colorists out there, and every time I do it, they yell at me. Like, I spend lots of money to go to classes and they yell at me every time. So do as I say, not as I do. Do not color on a glass mat without paper underneath it. All right, so we're gonna have a shadow. I'm gonna put this whole area here in the R59. Okay. The top I am not. I'm going to put the R59 where the tailgate is kind of like protruding around the truck bed here. And there's still going to be a little bit of a shadow there. There's going to be a little bit of a shadow there. Around there. Now I am going, since we already know how we're going to color this, I'm going to go ahead and start to put my colors all the way up. All right. And I'm going to do just a little bit of color here. on the inside. And I'm going to call that done. Sid, who said, Brendan, good night. I am so glad that you were able to join us. Good luck with your school project. I know it's your last day before spring break. Thanks for popping in. This is starting to become a little bit redundant, but I want to finish this process for everybody. But I certainly understand that people have to go because it's the holidays. We've got presents to wrap. Hey, Nerdy Crafter. I have a question for you. Do you want to see one of your Christmas presents, since you're not going to get your Christmas presents until after Christmas? We were waiting to send our presents to each other until everything came in, and then now we're waiting until shipping is a little bit cheaper. Would you like to see the one? Oh, she does. All right. All right, guys, hold on one second. This is really stupid, Nerdy Crafter, but I love giving presents, you guys. Well, okay, I like getting presents too, I'm not going to lie. I'm very hard to buy for because I buy everything I want when I want it. As, you know, you could ask the Amazon man. You could ask Sean. Look, it's us. It says, congrats on being my bestie, you lucky bee. And it's got popcorn, and you're holding your coffee, and I'm holding my Coca-Cola. What do you think? Isn't that awesome? So there you go. I know you didn't put up a tree, but you can hang it up somewhere in your house. But I saw that and I thought we had to have it. So I did you with your curly hair and me with my, I don't know what color. Is this gray? Is this platinum? But literally, I've got your name as popcorn on the ornament. So I just wanted to make you smile today because I know things have been rough for you lately. All right, so now we've got our 4/6. Going to extend that up. And so I'm being careful to not wash over those colors that I put in. So if you cannot get all the colors in, stick with your R46 because that's your mid-tone color. Did I mention, I don't know if you guys, if everybody's been on here, but the winter truck and dye are 50% off for the next 2 days through the 22nd. And literally you're getting both the stamp and the dye for cheaper than what the entire stamp set would be. So I think it comes to like 11, don't you know, quote me 100% on this, but I think it's like $11.49 or $11.98. It's a really good deal. So I'm just kind of encroaching upon this with my R24. And then once you have the dye, as the seasons come around, if you love the dye, you can buy the ones, the stamps later on that coordinate with it. And, you know, you don't have to buy a dye for everything. So I'm kind of cradling these in, and it looks like craziness right now. All right. Hear the garage door opening. Huh. All right, so I'm going to come in with this R14 because it looks really bad right now, guys. R24. 11:50, is that what it is? Thanks, Lisa. Lisa's on it tonight. So I don't know if you guys know, but in my email contacts, Lisa and actually Lisa, Judy, and Nerdy Crafter, under their contacts it says what their job title is, and it's to keep me in line. And that is the truth. I'm going to come back in with each of those colors, and I'm just going to dot in the blue again. Remember, these are translucent and kind of build upon each other. So that's why I'm doing that. And I did it around the red too, because it will kind of turn it orange. All right. Looks like garbage. We're gonna fix it. Don't freak out. Am I not? I'm not joking though, am I, Lisa? It says that you're in charge of me. They're what keeps me straight and on the on the straight and narrow and keeps me in line. And I'm telling you, without my tribe, I wouldn't be here. Honestly, I don't. We all have to have a tribe, and I am so lucky. And on top of that, there's a group of stamp company owners, who have really kind of rallied around me and have supported me. But I just could not ask for better people in my corner. And with that said, I don't give him a lot of credit. A lot of times I'm kind of mean to him. He'll tell you that. But Sean is amazing and supportive of me. Probably sometimes when he shouldn't be. If you hold me to that, Sean, we're not going to be friends. But I just want, this time of year is just kind of hard for me, and I don't want to get into my story about that. But man, without these people, I don't know what I'd do. They pick me up when I need to be picked up, and I hope that to some degree they do it for me, that I do it for them, excuse me. Now Sean's saying, you can't pick me up. And that's true. All right, here's a true story. Sean needs a ugly Christmas sweater for a party this weekend, or I'm sorry, tomorrow. Do you know that there are no men's ugly Christmas sweaters, like within a 200-mile radius of our house? And we're gonna end up having to make one. He has to work tomorrow, so in between whatever I'm doing, I'm going to try to glue stuff onto a sweater, because I do not sew. So the hot glue gun or E6000 is going to be our friend tomorrow. How do you think they're coming along? I really think that we need to bring the green in again. So YG03 people, I have to find it. All right, I'm lying. We're going to do the YG67 first. We're going to do all of Frosty's whatever this is, scarf in green. And we're going to do his friend's hat in green. And remember, this is going to be torn off as soon as somebody sees that there's cookies in that package, so I'm not too worried. So I kind of did a little triangle, so it looks like it's taut. And I'm closing in that hat, and you guys, this is funny. I have no idea. My desk is covered in markers again. And I'm just coloring him in. I'm going to do the same thing with this. I forgot the little sash along the top. And the YG67. Love the lights. I'm glad. Are they starting to come together? Because when I look at them, I see a mess. And we're gonna just make that black. We're gonna leave that black. All right. So I'm gonna dot in. I don't know what these are, but they're gonna be. They look like shish kebabs to me, but we're just gonna dot those in as being black. For Frosty and his friend here, we're gonna use a B000 and kind of give them the snowy glow. And then we're going to use a B as in ball, V as in Victor, 00, which is like a purple, blue violet. And we're going to kind of do the same thing up there. We're going to do a carrot nose and a YR7. We're not going to go into all of the colors because it's very small. You can if you want to. And I'm thinking we did his hat in green. Let's do yellow for his scarf. I don't know, just yellow and green go together? I think they do. What do you guys think? We still need to put some shadow where the glass is. So I just used the C1. And we forgot, I shouldn't say I forgot. We're going to color in those wheels with a C1 and a C3. All right. You guys know that I love a gel pen. Gel pen is your friend when it comes to coloring. I don't care what medium you're using, that's your friend. I always make sure that it's working, and this one is not. Don't look at my pajamas. Or you can look at them, just don't make fun of them. All right, so here where the lights are, we're gonna do some starburst and some highlights. So if you kind of dot it and then drag it like a star, it kind of gives you that glow. And I'm gonna put some here and there. And then watch this. I'm gonna go across like they're actually in the window. We're gonna come back to the front and actually I'm lying. We're gonna do some highlights. We're gonna do some here in the darkest area. So where there's dark, there's light. So that's how you get that to pop. This is Christmas time, so just putting in some little stars and little doodads. You're really gonna jazz this up. And I'm gonna put some highlights in the light, although it's very hard to see on camera. I'll do some here, and we'll do like a spot there, down there. And we're just breaking up that glass so that you get some highlights in there. And I'm gonna do like that. Your jammies look cozy. They are. I got these, believe it or not, last night. I have a new set of pajamas for every day of Christmas coming up. All right, so here's remember we made this into a tag? We are going to look at my hat going, all right. Get out our Burley art glue. And we're gonna start gluing this down. Fairly Art glue dries matte and clear. So if it seeps out, you're not going to have a mess. Going to flip it around. And the reason we did that was so that we wouldn't have any, here, I'm going to peel that back up. I didn't get that on the right way. That's why I always use liquid glues, because I have a minute that I can kind of make things right. Okay. Now we're going to do this. Now this is a little pin holder if you ever lose your pin. I do have a glue holder that I love, and it's got like a magnet on it, so you definitely don't have to have the little pin holder. Mine's been on there since like the dawn of ages. See how that's symmetrical? So regardless how we line that up, we've got a perfect little truck. So I said that we were going to stamp a grading on the inside. Let me go grab my block. Okay, I'm not gonna grab my block. So again, your Misty will never look like mine unless you do something like spill alcohol all over it. You know what, Amanda? That is like the most brilliant thing I've ever heard of. We should definitely do a pajama advent calendar. Why don't you remind me of that next year? So I open this up. Gonna stamp that down. Perfect. Okay. I started to unglue this a little bit. So see how that's got that hinge? So your like little colored area is just slightly overhanging, so it's on a hinge. I am taking my crocodile. You could use your old-fashioned what you call it, hole punch if you wanted to. Pick a spot that makes you happy. That obviously made me happy. Black twine for the win. It's always the win for me. Pair of scissors. And I am going to tie this on so we don't have to like weed it through like in any special way. My fake bake job here. I mean, they're baked. They're just not. I just didn't like make them. Let's just go with that. You guys, whoever is on here that's new, if I wasn't married to Sean, I would starve, or I'd be broke because I would go out to eat for every meal because I do not cook. I used to cook. That's a story for another day, but I used to cook, but I don't cook anymore. And Sean does all the cooking, and I would legit starve. See how stinking cute that is? Look at him! Isn't he cute? Into the orange tree, the orange chicken. Guys, you have to hear the orange chicken story sometime. But Who wouldn't love to have that little guy and drive, like Bear driving his little truck, and you got your little to and from, so you can put, from our family to yours or whatever you want. But this is to say, there's like, you can make your own tags, you can make it special, and give it to a neighbor or whoever, take it to a nursing home. It's awesome. But I just love it. I'm really into the gingham check or buffalo check this year. And so my paper plate actually has a red truck that matches this. I should have left that so you guys could see it, but that video would have been forever. So this is what I have. I want to wish you guys all a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I do plan on being back next Wednesday, same time, 8:30. I have no idea what we're going to do. And like I said, this is a sneak peek of what's to come. There might be other colors. I'm just saying they're not in the shop right now. So my Merry Christmas to you guys is a heartfelt one. Thank you for supporting me, hanging out with me. You guys are what matter to me more than anything in this entire world. I wouldn't get to act like a fool online without you guys. So be blessed. I hope you're able to be with friends and family. I know holidays can be hard, so I'm thinking of you. I'm praying for you. And I'll see you on the other side of Christmas. Take care. Bye-bye.